Hey folks, Quill18 here, and welcome from sunny South Beach in Florida, home of the Paradox 2014 press convention. There have been lots of game announcements coming out here and lots of gameplay sessions, getting to try a lot of cool stuff. So I want to give you guys some of that information. Now, a lot of the stuff I can't actually tell you right now because it's under press embargoes, but I will tell you what I can, which mostly includes what was in yesterday morning's press conference. If you've been following my Twitter, then a lot of this stuff will sound familiar to you, but let's go down the list real quick. First at the top, one of the new games that have been announced is something called Rune Master, which is the first time that Paradox Development Studios has released anything other than a grand strategy game. Obviously, Paradox Interactive, the publishing house, has published other types of games before, but in terms of what they've developed internally in PDS proper, this is the first time that we're going to get something different. So Rune Master is a role-playing game set in very heavy Norse mythos, and I haven't played it yet, and I haven't seen any gameplay videos for it yet, but what I can tell you is, and what I can tell you that it's not embargoed, is there's going to be three classes, a sort of a warrior berserker class, a Scald, which is going to be more of maybe a supporty healer kind of class, and then some sort of spell-casting kind of wizard thing. It doesn't sound like it's going to have multiplayer, at least at launch or something. They were kind of a little cagey on those details, so I don't know what's going to happen. It doesn't sound like multiplayer is going to be a thing, but we'll see exactly what happens. It is going to happen in a procedurally generated world. In fact, it's going to be like 6 worlds that encompass some Norse mythology kind of thing, and it sounds like the main campaign might be something like 50 to 100 hours to play, and it's pretty surprising considering most of the content is apparently going to be procedurally generated, a lot of sort of emergent quest lines and storylines and that sort of thing. It's going to involve a duel over Ragnarok. You're either going to want to sort of bring it about by fighting against Thor on the side of Loki, or prevent it by fighting against Loki on the side of Thor. And because it's going to have that sort of emergent, procedurally generated stuff, there should actually be a fair amount of replay value, we hope, assuming they've done it right. Again, I have not actually played this game, don't know what it is. The release date for it says on my sheet, coming this winter, and I was like, you mean like winter that's going to happen like later this year, at the end of this year, right? They're like, no, we mean this winter, as in within like, you know, the next 2-3 months type thing. And considering that we haven't actually seen any gameplay footage or video or anything like that, I was very surprised. But apparently they have been working on this for a while. It just so happens it wasn't another good sort of like press conference to announce it. They might have announced it, 3-4 months ago, for example, if they're just been the timing right. So who knows? We might get Rune Master very, very quickly. I'm very anxious to see exactly how it's going to work out, but there's the announcement anyway. The other game that they officially announced is Hearts of Iron 4, which, if you are a fan of grand strategy games, should make you incredibly happy. Of course, Hearts of Iron 4 is the flagship World War II strategy game that Paradox puts out. One of their more hardcore simulations, I would say. Certainly a little bit complex. It looks like Hearts of Iron 4, they've learned a lot of the lessons from EU4 in terms of how to make the interface more approachable and accessible, like just better ways of presenting complex information so it can be obvious and also understood, right? Because these games have a lot of complex information, and Paradox has certainly thought before about good ways to show people the information. They don't want to dumb it down. And to me, again, still very early on, because Hearts of Iron 4, the release date is early 2015, so a year away. So there's a lot of screens and things that haven't been developed yet. But one of the features I'm really excited about is in Hearts of Iron, you've been able to draw these strategic battle plans, with the sort of arrows, like, oh, I'm going to go here and then go to that province for quite some time. They're very handy in multiplayer to help coordinate things. But now they're actually going to be used for things in that you can still move your units sort of manually from province to province, but you can make these battle plans with these arrows and assign units to these like sort of arrow groups, and when you unpause the game, all the units will automatically move to the sort of tail of the arrow, and then wait, and then you'll have a button to say, okay, activate phase 1, and then they will all move and follow the arrow to the end, and then they'll wait there, and you say, okay, activate phase 2, and then they'll all move there, and you can tie in your airstrikes, your bombardments, your armor movements, your infantry movements, all those in these sorts of different phases and steps. And you can use it to coordinate with your allies, especially in single player. I think it's going to be really handy because you can get apparently you'll be able to get your AI allies to work with you in these battle plans, which to me is really cool because I've always wanted to play Hearts of Iron as Canada, being Canadian. And Canada, of course, had like significant contributions in World War II, but you can't fight it yourself independently. That doesn't happen. It was all in coordination with other allies, right? With the British and with the Americans and with all these things, and you're fighting side by side to do the D-Day landings and all those things. Well, apparently, even as a single player with your AI allies, you can create your battle plans and have them follow it, so you can coordinate these sort of group attacks, which I'm going to be very excited for. Again, there's a lot of development left to do in Hearts of Iron. but I'm super pumped for it to come out. The other thing that we're looking at on this trip is Magicka Wizard Wars, which, if you've played Magicka, Magicka is like a role-playing game, a multiplayer role-playing game with like crazy spells and a lot of friendly fire. And Wizard Wars is more of a PvP arena type focus thing. They've thrown around the word MOBA, but it's very important to understand that this is only in the strictest sense of, yes, it's a multiplayer online battle arena. It's not something like League of Legends or Dota. It's not a big complex map with a lot of stuff going on. There's no in-fight level ups or item purchases or anything like that. You can customize your character outside of the game to tweak. You know, it's like, oh, he's going to be a fire elemental specialist, or this guy's going to be like a defensive magic specialist, or something like that. But then when you go into the game, you're just playing the game as is without much modification of your character in there. They're very short matches, 5 to 10 minutes to deal with the brawl. There was a new mode that's being demoed here, which I'm actually kind of excited about it, because most of the combat is like just like 4v4 teams, okay? But this is going to be a sort of arena mode where you all join in the server, and most of you sit on the sidelines. 2 people go into the middle and do a 1 versus 1 duel, and then the winner stays, and the next person goes in, and they fight this sort of King of the Hill style, which I think is going to be really exciting. Very windy all of a sudden. Now I'm entering into the releases that still have an embargo against them, so there's a real limit to what I can, I got something in my eye, to what I can tell you about these games, other than what was covered in the press conference yesterday morning. So DLC for Europa Universalis 4 has been announced, called Wealth of Nations. It's going to focus heavily on trade. It's going to introduce like trade companies, right, like the East India Trading Company. Those sorts of things are going to start to be a thing. They're going to influence trade routes and also have massive implications in terms of diplomacy and sort of competing with other nations, for example. They're looking for things that will help shake up some of the status quo. And from what I've seen, I'm really excited. The official embargo for this is until January 27th, so at that point, I'll post a video with like some more screenshots and more information. And also, someone's doing construction. That's probably making terrible amounts of noise. I apologize for that. And also, just visit your favorite gaming news websites. And we're going to go for a walk. And you'll probably get a lot more information. There's a lot of people here from a lot of different publications, and they'll have lots of great information in a write-up. So stay tuned for that if you're looking for more information. But I will tell you, trade is one of the favorite things that I like to do in, well, most games actually, but especially the grand strategy games. And so I'm really, really pumped for this expansion. I think it's going to be awesome. The release date for that is sometime late spring of 2014, so a few months away. Now, if you want something a little sooner than that, you've got the Crusader Kings 2 DLC, which was announced, the Rajas of India, and the embargo date for that is the 28th. So again, if you want more news, stay tuned for all your favorite publishers at that point. But they have announced that they will be expanding the map for CK2, which is the big news. It's going to be like 50% bigger. And yeah, we'll reach down into India. There's going to be a few new mechanics here and there, a few new religions, obviously, and again, another really good shake-up of the gameplay. But yeah, stay tuned for more information there. The other thing that we're looking at is War of the Vikings, which of course has been sort of beta testing for some time. War of the Viking is sort of like the next iteration of the sort of War of the Roses type of quasi first-person hack-and-slash kind of game. Like, it's like a first-person shooter but without any shooting. Instead, you just hack. Well, I guess you've got bows. You can shoot those. And very fun, very visceral combat. Compared to some of the other games like War of the Roses, the maps are a little smaller, a little tighter. There's no mounted units. So it's just, get up in people's face and hit them with a big battle axe. Incredibly fun. If you want to see more of that, tune in to twitch.tv/ParadoxInteractive today at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, because me and a whole bunch of other YouTubers are going to be beating the crap out of each other. We got Northern Line here, Angry Joe. We've got Eat My Diction. We've got Gassy Mexican. We've got LOL Ray something. Oh God, I can't remember her name. Rainea? I'm so bad. And a handful of others. We've got Force Strategy Gaming. Oh God, I think there's like 10 of us. So stay tuned. That's going to be great fun. We're also going to be playing the Magicka Wizard Wars as well. So if you want to take a look at that. And then the last thing I got to talk about is Warlock 2 the Exiled, which I actually haven't played yet. I got a demo for that in about 30 minutes. And even if I had, I wouldn't be able to tell you about it because that one's embargoed until January 30th. So again, stay tuned to all your favorite gaming publication for more information there. Of course, Warlock 1 was a turn-based, hex-based, fantasy-based 4X kind of game. It's very reminiscent of like, Master of Magic meets Civilization 5. It was really good. I felt that release, it was maybe a little unpolished, but then they did patch it up and it's actually turned into a very good game. And Warlock 2, based on the screenshots that have been released and are not embargoed, looks amazing, and I'm very excited because they teased us about this maybe 3-4 weeks ago. I think the first screenshots came out, and it looked really, really, really compelling. And if you hunt around, there should be a trailer for Warlock 2 available as well, because they released it yesterday at the press release. So, and again, so January 30th, there's going to be more information about that. And let me tell you, the second I get a preview key for this, I will be playing this game, because it's exactly the sort of thing I like to do. So that's the update. And also tomorrow, on Saturday, whatever date that is, I'm not sure. At some point, I'm going to try to do a sort of a live stream from here and do some like AMAs type thing. We're not going to be playing games because I don't have my computer set up for that, but we can do like webcam interview stuff. So stay tuned. Hopefully we can get that done. The internet here is incredibly sketchy though, so it might not happen. Anyway, I got to go. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.